Okay, we went over File, Edit an Image. This time we're going to go over Layer, and we're going to keep going through the top here. So Layer, you can do things like add new layer, duplicate layer, delete, layer style, new layer fill, vector, smart objects, rasterize, and things like that. One thing I do want to show you is that over here we need to hit layer from background. Remember how I said do that. If we right click, we kind of have the same thing here. Duplicate layer, delete layer. Some things, some layer actions are there over top of the layer when we right click. Also, new layer is right here. Delete and layer, new layer. So a lot of these are redundant. They're the same things over here that would be over into your layers palette. The next one would be type. This strictly your fonts. So you could warp text. You could add fonts from typeset. The only time I ever open up type is to warp the text or convert, maybe rasterize the type if I'm over here. So I'll use these two. Hardly ever use it too much. Select. You can select all. So like if I have a bunch of stuff, I can just either drag across and select it, or I can select all. Deselect layers, find layers, things like that. Filters. So here's my filters. If I want to do 3D filters, blur filters, distort, noise, pixel, render, sharpen, stylize. I have Jixi Pix and Topaz Labs, which are bought. This one has adjust and things like that. So you might have filters that you've purchased or things that you work with that help you, Artista Oil or Rainy Days, Simply HDR, Grunge-tastic. So let's say like one of my filters is Pop Dot Comics. So we'll click that and it'll open up this and change it into a comic book look. And this looks like a comic book, and we can change things like this. This is not Photoshop. This is plugins that you can buy for Photoshop. Let's get out of there and quit, and we can go here and hit filter. Now these filters will not work in CMYK. They only work in, so if I hit Topaz Lab and I hit adjust, so right here is, I've opened up this document, and so I've got classic collections, I got brilliant cold, detail medium, equalize, I've got HDR collections, which kind of bring out the wood, and I can do dynamic brightness, pop, things like that, and I can do global. So these are programs that are made to coincide with Photoshop. And I can check before and after, and if I like it, I just hit save, apply, and once I do that, I hit OK, and it'll apply that to that picture, what I just did into that picture. And these are a little bit for people who get more into photo changing and things like that. So filters that everybody has are these right here. So let's say if I wanted to blur something, I could add a Gaussian blur to it, and we can blur it, to a certain point. Let's say we wanted distort it, and we wanted ripples. Hit OK to kind of give it a ripple effect, almost like a painting. So you could do things. That's in your filters. 3D, we're not even going to talk about that. That gets into doing 3D stuff. And then view, I never really go into view here too much. I don't want you to learn really too much of that. And window, these are all these are your windows. These are windows. So like if you want to close this properties, go to properties, you can see it's checked, uncheck it, and it closes it. So you might be looking for something and you can't find it. If you can't find it, go over here and see if it's checked. So like if I'm looking for the libraries, I can't find libraries, and I'm like, go over here and I click on it, my libraries panel will pop up. and I can just remember, okay, where it's at. So that gets me around. Help, what's new in Photoshop. You got some browse add-ons, and you can see updates and check system info and things like that. So you can see about Photoshop CC, you can see what version it is and things like that. So that's the top, that's really the top navigation window in a nutshell.